My name is Brendan Horan. I'm a Dairy Systems Officer at Teagasc Moor Park in Fermoy, and my topic today is nitrate leaching from a free draining intensive dairy farm in the south of Ireland. This is it's a collaborative study including geologists, environmentalists and animal production scientists. The study basically has brought together those three disciplines to look at the impact of management practices at the surface, knowledge of the soil structure and the karst under rock, if you like, and also climate, and the impacts all three of those are having on the groundwater quality beneath a free draining soil type over a 10-year period. So it's quite a large long-term data study looking at the temporal trends in nitrogen loss. The study was created, I suppose, it was required as part of the Nitrates Directive that we look at intensive dairy farms and their impact on the environment, and that was the background to this study. What we've done is we've measured groundwater nitrate concentrations for a 10-year period, monthly, and we've related that to what's happening in terms of the climate, different times of the year, also looking at the different parts of the farm where there's different risk levels associated with nitrogen loss. So it's brought a huge amount of detailed information together, and I suppose the big results from the study have been to see a big improvement in water quality beneath the site during the 11-year study period. The improvements in water quality were generally related to a whole range of factors, but in no particular order: improved nutrient management practices, increased productivity grazing, improved management of riskier parts of the farm, high risk sites within the farm, reductions in nitrogen fertilizer application, and achieving a better nitrogen balance between the inputs of N and the outputs of N from the farm on a global basis. First thing to say is that with the abolition of milk quotas in Ireland in the next number, in fact in 2015, we're likely to see farmers changing their systems. And it's important that any changes that are made to the farm systems don't result in any negative deleterious effects on the environment. So that's the background in terms of this study. This is intensive dairy production. There are very few international studies that show where high productivity grazing systems can be achieved on the same page as very good environmental standards, if you like. And this is relatively unique then in that context, in that we're the research farm site that we're studying is achieving roughly 200% of what's achieved on the average dairy farm in terms of productivity output, if we measure that in fat and protein yield per hectare. And at the same time, it's now achieving all of the water quality targets that are set out as in the Nitrates Directive and laterally in the Water Framework Directive. So it's a very positive story that we can have very good environmental outcomes and also good productivity systems, to feed a larger global population and so on. That's relatively unique internationally to have those two things aligning well. And that's because of our grazing system and just improving nutrient management within the grazing system. The stocking rates and the levels of productivity, as I say, are a lot higher than the average dairy farm today. It's approximately, the stocking rates within this study are up to 2.9 livestock units per hectare. The average farm is at 2 livestock units per hectare. But by association, this farm is a much more productive grassland farm, so that probably explains a lot of that difference. I think it's very adaptable in terms of farms. Really, the lessons from the study for farmers are that for those that are ambitious about expanding their farms, intensifying their production systems and so on, that can be achieved, that can be very productive and very profitable for them to do so. But they have to be very careful to do it in a manner that is consistent with the maintenance of good environmental standards. That is to say that the extra milk produced should be produced from grazed grass with very sensible nutrient management practices, that we don't go and damage the environment by overloading the system with too many inputs. The results of the study indicate that we can achieve very, very good water quality and also very intensive and very productive grazing systems. And these aren't mutually exclusive objectives. It requires a focus on both agronomic practices but also on nutrient management practices to achieve that ultimate goal.